Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is cyber law. I'll talk about what I think cyber law is. I'll give you a few nuggets to know about it that you can remember. I'll point you to more resources. The usual disclaimers, especially when I'm talking about law. It's not legal advice. You can pause and read the rest. Simplest answer for what is cyber law is cyber plus law. That is almost too simple to ever come out of a lawyer's mouth, right? What is cyber? Cyber is all those things, technology and digital stuff. What is law? Well, I explain that more fully in another video, but law is basically rules from government. So cyber law, we could say, is the areas of law relating to computers and the internet, including areas of criminal law, cybersecurity, privacy, nation-state conflict, and more. I couldn't have said that any better myself. Wait, I did say it. That's from my new book on cyber law, page 11. That's where I introduce the reader to it in simple steps. Now, let's back up a little bit. Let's first mention rules. We are all familiar with rules. We got rules all around us coming from different places, our school, our work, and from the government. Rules from the government, that's what I think of as law. And then cyber law fits within that. Cyber law is a type of law. So that really helps me and a lot of students think about law and cyber law, putting them in context of each other. So basically, cyber law is simply where cyber and law intersect. Cyber law is rules from government that relate to technology and digital spaces. Here's another slightly different way to think about it, that cyber law sits on a foundation of traditional law. So if we've got all law in that box, traditional law is our foundation. Well, cyber law sits on top of it. It gets built on top of it. Cyber law builds on existing bodies of law. And law's been going on for decades, centuries, even more. We don't build a whole new process for law or area law. We build on top of what we have little by little. So this, I think, is a helpful way for people learning law to think about cyber law, that it sits on that foundation of traditional law. And that's also from my book. Another way to think of it, as we've been talking about it, is cyber law is a subset of all law. And we can think of it like this, like we've looked at just a little while ago. Now, some traditional laws within cyber law, it's helpful to know. These, I think, are the three most important. Criminal law is a traditional law, and now it's within cyber law. Cybercrime happens, digital investigations happen, so criminal law now has cyber law components. Negligence law, too, is a part of cyber law. If you're negligent with your cybersecurity, that might be addressed in negligence law. And contract law is a part of cyber law, too, because contracts are going to have cyber components. Then there are data laws within cyber law. Data laws to know about are data disposal laws or secure data disposal laws. Data breach notification laws, meaning if a company is breached, personal information is accessed, they have a legal duty because of that data breach notification law to notify those consumers and the government. There are cybersecurity laws. Companies holding personal data of consumers may have a cybersecurity law they need to comply with to have some degree of cybersecurity for that personal data. There are privacy laws, giving consumers privacy rights and imposing privacy duties on organizations that collect, store, share, use personal data of consumers. Now, see what I did here with privacy laws? A lot of privacy laws, almost all of them, are going to have these other data law components within them. There are some cliches, misconceptions, and myths about cyber law. Sometimes people say the law is behind. The law is too slow and needs to catch up. We need a new legal jurisdiction for cyberspace. We need a global jurisdiction for cyberspace. I submit that the more you learn about cyber law, you'll see that these don't quite capture the issues we're having with cyber law. More in another video someday, or check my book or online course. All right, to recap some important takeaways and conclude, cyber law is just cyber plus law. Cyber law sits on a foundation of traditional law, and all that other law that has come before, we build on top of existing law to make new law or to evolve law. Cyber law is a subset of all law. Cyber law is those areas of law relating to computers and the internet, including criminal law, cybersecurity, privacy, nation-state conflict, and more. Cyber law includes those traditional laws like criminal law, negligence law, and contract law, and it includes newer data laws, breach notification, cybersecurity, and privacy. Do you want a deeper understanding, more than I can provide in 7 minutes or so? See my additional resources. Here's a list, and I will also put them in the video description. I did a YouTube video on what is law, and I hope to do more. I've got an article on cyber law on my website, article on law, things to know about cyber law. I have an online course on cyber law, and I wrote an entire book on cyber law. And I've written articles for Reuters. You can find them on my website. The usual disclaimers. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You take care.